Alright, what is up guys, the Strong Boys 19 here. I know that this is an unexpected angle to do this type of live stream, because I would have done it this way round, but it was just so annoying that I couldn't believe that I wanted to have the confidence that everything is ready, and then YouTube decided to, change this layout. Whatever, I don't care. At least I am here. I'm not going to stop the stream and reset everything again, just to change the view to this. Fucking annoying system, YouTubers. Shizazul, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. I am doing, I'm doing pretty well, mate. I hope you are doing the same. This is going to be an update video, as well as a live stream video where I would hang out with you guys. And I haven't bought a lot of stuff to show you guys, but I think I have bought just a couple of records, and as well as with a few CDs and a Blu-ray. Midnight Social, alright mate, what's your Halloween plans? I'm not really a Halloween fan, to be honest with you guys, but I am going to come out as Joaquin Phoenix's Joker for the second time, to hang out with one of my mates, to go to his place. My brother's coming, and it's going to be a post-Halloween slash bonfire night type of thing. And I'm not a fan of bonfire night. I used to like it, but I'm not a fireworks person. For those of you who have joined in, sorry that my my camera was positioned like this instead of the usual angle and positions. Zach, good to see you. Good to see you too. So the Halloween plans is just going to be a chill one to hang out and be as Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Let's go to the update part of this stream first. So the first one is one of the new albums that have been released. I bought this on the 2nd of this month of October. It is the new Alcest album, which I am not going to pronounce, because obviously for those who know about this band, they are French, and this was released through one of my favorite labels, Nuclear Blast Records. I think this is a very, very good album. It's not as strong as some of the previous albums, but there are some beautiful sounds of the shoegaze elements, and the production is really nice. The vocal melodies are lovely to listen to, and for Alcest to be one of my favorite bands, I think they have been a pretty consistent discography making band. I have mentioned about Shelter previously, but I really want to get into that album better. I thought it was a disappointment when it came out. Can't believe that was a decade ago. But anyways, this is a really, really good, nicely produced, and as a sweet listening experience from this very, very good French band. I am in my music room, by the way, guys, because I thought I want to be in a different place, and especially that this is a much better background. You may have seen some of my recent videos without my CD collection, and I will make a huge explanation why it went like that, but I'm going to address it after the update part. I've decided to return back to my Black Sabbath collection, and I've purchased these two deluxe expanded editions. Here is Seventh Star, the very underrated and mostly ignored album in Sabbath's discography. I think this is a very, very good album. Not one of my most favourites. The second disc is live at the Hammersmith Odeon in London, back when Glenn Hughes used to be in the band with a much different lineup. Tony Iommi. Here's a picture of some of the band. This is very much like, as many Sabbath fans know this is very much like a hard rock and originally made idea to be a solo album after the previous album's era, which some Sabbath fans know this, that the previous album was going to be not a Black Sabbath album to begin with. But this is a very nice edition, and I have bought the deluxe expanded edition of the previous album, Born Again. This is still one of the worst album covers of all time. I got to respect this album better. I am not one of those Sabbath fanatics that really cites this as a classic. I prefer the Tony Martin period over this album. There's Ian Gillan from Deep Purple. The second disc features some bonus tracks, including Live at the Reading Festival in 1983. And the first two tracks from the second disc are bonus tracks. Born Again is one of those albums that many Sabbath fans love, but I'm the opposite. I used to not like this album very much, but I did respect this album better over time. So that is Born Again. The Blu-ray that I've picked up is a remake that is excellent from one of my top three movie directors of all time, who I absolutely love, and it's Martin Scorsese's remake of Cape Fear with Robert De Niro. This was made in the early 90s. This is a really, really good one. I haven't watched the original, but this also stars Nick Nolte and Jessica Lange. I haven't watched this for a really long time, so that's why I decided to buy this. And Robert De Niro is my favourite actor of all time. So I am definitely looking forward to check out this film again and watch it on Blu-ray. Just going to go to the comments right now. Random question, but do you still have the MFKR bootleg? Yes, I do. And I am keeping it. It's a fake pressing. There's no chance that I would have had the money to have the original CD pressing of it, because it is extremely rare. And I have talked about this previously, that I am not going to sell or trade any of my stuff from my Slipknot collection. Nice to see some 7-star love. Yeah, I think it is a really good album. It's not perfection, but this does have its own ideas and its own identity that I really enjoy. This is nowhere near one of my most favourite Black Sabbath albums, but I personally still prefer this album than the Born Again album, which many Sabbath fans don't. Midnight Social, Born Again is massively underrated in my opinion. It is known as one of those like cult following classic Sabbath albums. It was panned when it came out, but years later, Sabbath fans love it. Even Ozzy Osbourne praised it. Uh, I have different opinions around the album. The obvious flaws were there, and I have been very critical on some of the lyrics and some of the songs, but there are some of the tracks that I really did like. Zach, I've been getting into Black Sabbath more recently. I really like Planet Caravan. Planet Caravan is an outstanding song, and some of the later Sabbath albums are absolutely just amazing. My favorite Black Sabbath album is Sabotage, and I love Volume 4 and Heaven and Hell. The aforementioned Tony Martin period, to me, is extremely underrated. The Seven Star era, with Glenn Hughes on vocals, and the Born Again album with Deep Purple's Ian Gillan on vocals. The Dio period is also just as incredible, like most of the Ozzy Osbourne stuff. So there's a lot for you to discover there. Shizazzle, I love the intro to the title track. The title track of Born Again, Shizazzle. Or is it Seven Star? Probably Born Again. I actually am getting the Mayfield Kill Repeat vinyl for my 14th birthday, aka November 30th. Awesome. I know it's fake, but I doubt I'll ever get the original, so it's the closest I'll ever get. I will never buy Mayfield Kill Repeat on vinyl. It's an unofficial bootleg, and I just think it is not really that important for me to get it. I have a few unofficial pressings, some that I've bought through various record shops and record fairs, but I never have an interest at all to purchase something that's extremely rare that anybody decides to rip people off with their own designs of the demo or anything else that's really rare. Midnight Social, did you manage to get Oasis tickets? I think I've talked about this previously. Maybe not, but if not, I'll say this again. No, I did not. I've waited 10 hours, and Ticketmaster, with their dynamic pricing controversy, it is a massive fuck you to Ticketmaster. Fuck those bastards. Seriously. Their system is atrocious. And there are new reports that there's thousands of Oasis tickets that are resold, or actually people have been banned when they purchased those tickets through different websites than Ticketmaster. So those tickets that have been purchased not from Ticketmaster are not accepted, which is great. I don't care that many of the Oasis fans are pissed off about that, but Ticketmaster are at their worst disgrace, and the UK government here have been investigating this dynamic pricing controversy. And, they should be targeted for this. I don't care about Ticketmaster's policies. Iron Maiden as well. I failed to get tickets for their Birmingham show for next year. Besides that, Iron Maiden took a stand against dynamic pricing, but Ticketmaster themselves, same issues of ridiculous amounts of money of wanting to purchase 2 tickets, and every time I make these attempts, I didn't manage to get them. I didn't get through to the checkouts. That's just how broken that shit website is. But I hope by this Halloween, I hope the website will be okay for me to purchase tickets to see Jeff Lynne from Electric Light Orchestra to his Birmingham Utilita Arena show, because he's planning his farewell tour for next year. I love Electric Light Orchestra. I adore that band. I love Jeff Lynne. So fingers crossed that I'm going to get those tickets. Anyways, I'm going off here. Okay. Yeah, Born Again, the title track, Shazazzle. Although 7 Star is a cool song as well. I agree. Guitar Storms. Hello, pal. Hope all is well. R.I.P. Paul Di'Anno. Yeah. Really glad to see you as always, but that was awful. That was a massive shock about Paul. Zach, oh wait, the vinyls are completely fake. They never made them. They never made any of them officially. No, they didn't, Zach. The only original pressings are ones who were there for the Mayfield Kill Repeat event, like a release event. When Slipknot made the demo, there were only 1,000 of those copies made, and I still think that the band themselves have their own copies, as well as those who were there on the release party of Mayfield Kill Repeat. I didn't know that. I thought it was the same with the CDs. Some real, some fake. Yeah, that's why I don't have an interest to purchase an unofficial bootleg of Mayfield Kill Repeat. Guitar Storms, you have missed the CD purchases and Blu-ray purchase, but you can scroll back, even though I've shown them less than 10 minutes ago. Right, that makes sense now. Thanks for letting me know. I didn't know that at all. Thank you so much. No worries, Zach. On to the 2 records I've purchased. So this first one is an original UK pressing of Iron Maiden's debut album. The reason why I bought it, for Paul Di'Anno. I love this album. I've actually revisited this album a day after the news broke out. I played it in full on YouTube in honor of Paul before I bought this album. This is the only album to have Dennis Stratton on guitar, and for many Maiden fans who know this, that Paul Di'Anno was not the very first vocalist for Iron Maiden. He was the 4th. I had to look it up. Paul Di'Anno was the first Iron Maiden vocalist that was signed with the band, but the other 3 were from previous few years before they were signed to EMI. The vinyl itself is in very nice condition, which I was really surprised. The sleeve is in pretty good shape. Well, the vinyl is like in strong condition. There's a few marks from the sleeve itself, like some dents, but nothing really majorly bad. So when I revisited this album, I had a blast. It was one of those moments that I revisited albums from one of my most favourite bands of all time, that this material here sounds just as amazing. This is just as an amazing album. I am one of those Maiden fans that actually loves this one more than The Number of the Beast, which is another amazing album. But I think the debut is one of my top 5 Maiden albums. I haven't bought Killers on vinyl yet, but I am planning to do that. Subscorns. Alright, another Greg music stream, another banger after banger. Cheers for that. I've just noticed you guys have sent me comments while I'm talking about Iron Maiden. Scroll a bit. Midnight Social, I actually listened to All Hope Is Gone recently. It used to be a very meh album for me, but I like it a lot more now. I miss old Slipknot with Joey. Slipknot is still Slipknot. I know that the lineup they're in now, Clown is the only original member left. But as a Slipknot fan myself, well, one of the biggest Slipknot fans, I think All Hope Is Gone has aged a lot better than The End So Far. I have my own thoughts about The End So Far, but when I will review All Hope Is Gone, I am planning to rank Slipknot's discography. Guitar Storms, you seem in a good place now, brother. I will get to how I've been feeling in a minute. It's going to go into another ramble, but when it happens, bear with me. It's going to be completely, unscripted, obviously. It's obviously uncut, because I can't be bothered to, decide to edit live streams. I just leave everything in. Oh, well, that's really awesome. I got Iron Maiden on CD not long ago. It's a bummer he passed not long after getting it. Strange World is one hell of a song. Yeah, Strange World is very, very underrated. I mean, every song is a winner, but one of my most favourite Iron Maiden tracks is the instrumental of Transylvania. Running Free is brilliant. Phantom of the Opera is outstanding. The title track, Iron Maiden, and Eddie looks really cool to look at. A lot better than the horrifically ugly Eddie from the Final Frontier album cover. Strange World is haunting now to listen to, and check out the solos on the Soundhouse tapes, completely different. Okay, I actually have not listened to the Soundhouse tapes recording yet. I will get to that now that you've mentioned it, Guitar Storms. Nice to see that Maiden record. My brother ended up buying all the original vinyl pressings from the debut to Fear of the Dark, I believe. Awesome. That is really, really good. I still have the limited edition picture disc of The Number of the Beast. Now I look at the same pressings of different albums on eBay. They're high price now, so consider myself really lucky now that they are one of the most expensive later reissues for any Iron Maiden fan. I had the Number of the Beast picture disc, I believe, from the last decade ago. While I'm not a fan of picture discs, I decided to keep it because it was a birthday present, and I decide to keep it in part of my collection. I don't have a lot of Maiden on vinyl yet. I have the remaster from 2015 of the X Factor, and I have Brave New World on vinyl, a remaster as well. I don't have an original Brave New World, but this is my first original UK pressing of any of Iron Maiden's albums. I love the first solo in Strange World. That's how I want to play guitar. Yeah, the solos on the album are brilliant. Dennis Stratton's guitar contributions were great, besides that he was out of the band due to creative differences. Scorns, I assume that's Jake. I think you have changed the title. I hope you had a fantastic time seeing Dream Theater. Where would you rank them in terms of musical brilliancy, performance and atmosphere, that you can finally scratch them off your list? They're right up there. I think they're excellent in their own right. I did a concert review for Dream Theater, and it was my first time. Yeah, they were amazing. But sadly, I found out on Mike Portnoy's Instagram. I think the gig they have just done was very hard for Mike Portnoy because his sister passed away from cancer, and she was a Dream Theater fan from the very beginning. And I think they did play The Spirit That Carries On, or The Spirit Carries On. I know I fucked the title up. For Mike's sister. It was beautiful that I've spotted an image of John Petrucci standing next to Mike Portnoy as he was in bits. I also have seen the video of Bruce Dickinson's tribute to Paul Di'Anno before they played Time Machine from the Senjutsu album. The tribute was really nice. Guitar Storms, again, bro, the amount of Maiden stuff I have. Purgatory single, Twilight Zone single, the vinyl of Monsters of Rock, all the original Wasted Years singles, picture disc, 12 inches, Seventh Son picture disc, all the originals. That is amazing. Really pleased to have read that comment there. Yeah, Iron Maiden to me are some of the best bands for collectible hobbies. Cassettes, bootlegs, 7-inch singles, box set, 10-year anniversary, etc. A bit extreme, I think. It's your collection, Guitar Storms. You know, as a collector, the list is endless, and you have to think to yourself, you can take breaks, but with what you have, you know, keep your collection. I think my Slipknot collection has been, you know, really good. And the last record that I've purchased, I have made a deal that was accepted from a great supporter on the channel, a subscriber, and a dear friend of mine. Some of you guys know that I am friends with a band called Harriet. The drummer, Julian, made a post on his Instagram story that he was selling some of his vinyl collection. I contacted him, we made an offer, and I'm so happy that this vinyl is now in my collection. It's one of those wishlist albums. Alright? This is the Music on Vinyl reissue of the classic Incubus album, Morning View. As you can see there, there's the sticker, Music on Vinyl, Morning View. It is a limited edition to 2,000 copies, and the number is right there. You can't really see it very well, but my number is 64, which is completely crazy. I think this album is another masterpiece that I really, really do love. This is the album that made me fall in love with Incubus. This is my favourite. Make Believe is also strong. Their new metal sounding album Science is really good, but this is the band at their peak. Do you want to see the vinyl? Do you want to see what's inside? My number is 64, which is, you know, the lowest number that I have on any limited edition vinyl I have in a collection. Music on vinyl, by the way, from Australia. This company makes absolutely beautiful represses, and the sound quality is amazing. It is 180 gram audiophile vinyl. Go and check out Music on Vinyl. I'm looking forward to show you guys the pressing. That is if you guys want me to. I've said my thanks to Julian from Harriet for making it happen. I almost did purchase a Music on Vinyl pressing of Korn's Issues, but Morning View was one of my wishlist albums for a really long time. Now that I have it in the collection, I'm so looking forward to play the album. Incubus's best album, I agree with that. I will say this with total respect, poor Paul could have been helped more by the band. He had fans mind and look after him. He had to go to Croatia for medical support. I wish they helped. I think they did help Paul Di'Anno through the crowdfunding campaigns for his surgeries. So they did not disrespect Paul Di'Anno, because obviously Di'Anno was a part of Maiden's history, and now that he's passed away, his legacy is still, I would say, is still here in the infinity amount of love in Iron Maiden's history. The amount of money all the stars have, and they paid respect after his death, but if they had to put him in private hospital, he would have been here today. He struggles with mental health too. He had health issues, and obviously that does not mean that Paul Di'Anno's not being away from the rest of the band. They still do appreciate and admire what Paul Di'Anno had to offer for Iron Maiden. I said all this with total love. I understand that, Guitar Storms. I got a Mudvayne LD50 vinyl on Music on vinyl there. Super awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. I think Mudvayne are one of those overhated bands, and I really like them. So, guys, I asked this before, but do you want to see the pressing of the vinyl? You want to see what's inside of it? Guitar Storms, by the way, how's the band going? All right. Guitar Storms, I know you have not been very active, but I have made a video a few months ago. I think it was called What I've Been Up To. I think that's the title of the video. I have explained in a lot of personal experiences and with what the band have been doing. If you want to find out for yourself, you can check out that video, because I went into a lot of what happened. It was not like extremely personal or anything. It's just that it's not a bad thing that had happened. I know that you've asked this just now, but what I will say here, before you would watch the video, if you want to, things have changed in the state of the band. But there's no bad blood, there's no negativity, and it will be something different. I would have wanted to explain all of it on here, but you know, I think it's best for me to move forward and to adapt. That's one word I have said on my video, and you'll find out. Um, okay, so Zach, Shizazzle, and Scorns want to see the vinyl pressing. Okay, let's get Morning View out. It is a beautiful glossy vinyl. I love this picture. This really suits the mood of the album, musically as well as with the sound of the band. I know they've recorded this album for the anniversary. It has been pressed to CD and vinyl, but I'm not getting it. I'm just sticking to the original pressing. There's a gatefold with the pictures of the band and as well as with all of the lyrics. It's a double vinyl pressing. And the record, or records I should say, is a clear-cut pressing. A clear-cut pressing of this masterpiece. I was so happy that I got into this band after this album. I did see them live where they played this album in its entirety. I think it was 2 years ago. It was the 21st anniversary at the time. And the crowd were beautiful. It was the most gorgeous sounding crowd. They knew all the words. They sang along with Brandon, and it was majestic. You know, wonderful interaction from the crowd as well. So that is the clear-cut pressing of Morning View by Incubus. I think I looked at Discogs. This is a 2019 repress from a 2013 reissue. Yep, 2013 reissue. That is that. Morning View by Incubus. I'm going to put this record back in its sleeve after the stream. Ooh, shit. So that is the update part of the stream, guys. I want to see that Gary Moore Les Paul. Right? It's not in its case, but I will only show it one time. There's this beast, the Gary Moore signature Les Paul. This is the only guitar that I will show because I know that Guitar Storms loves the look of this. Right. Let's see other comments. I saw them when they toured the Crow Left for a Murder album. That's the last CD I listened to by them. Okay, that's really cool. What an interesting and very fitting selection. Incubus with Linkin Park. I think that's a really good choice. I saw Incubus with Linkin Park before Chester died. They were top notch and was honoured to hear fan favourites from Morning View and other albums from their set list. It was a fun time. It must have been a really fun time. If I were to listen to Incubus, would Morning View be a good place to start? Yes, I recommend Morning View and the previous album, Make Yourself. That's a really good album. Holy smoke, bro, it's beautiful. Well, it has seen better days. I bought it secondhand. It did have some um, replacement parts, um, some damages, but it's a working guitar. That's such a cool guitar. My dad has that guitar and used it in 2007 or 2008, 2008, sorry, for his bands. He still has it now. It's awesome to see every once in a while. Yeah, that is an original Gary Moore signature from 2000, and it became my favorite electric guitar of all time. I have other guitars, but that's the only one that I have shown, and don't really want to display the others because most of them are in a different room upstairs, and they're not really easy to take out and to display. Um, I think that Les Paul is lighter, or at least compared to my other red Les Paul my dad has. Do you still play drums? My Gary Moore signature is very light, so it's not like your usual heavy weighted guitar. It's got a mahogany body, like with most of my guitars. Do you still play drums? I do, actually. Well, I have kept my drum kit. Speaking of drums, I did manage to replace my broken snare drum skin and got a new one, and I fitted it all by myself by using the excuse me, pardon me, the drum key to loosen the tension from the old one. I removed it, put the new one in, and tightened the new one to be fitted to the snare drum. I think it was a really simple process, so it worked. Did you hear Rory Gallagher's Strat is bought and is going to be in the Irish Museum with his treble booster and VOC AC30, 880,000 for the guitar alone, and 25 grand for the amp? That is incredible. 880. I just said 880. Fuck's sake. 880,000 for the guitar. That's amazing. And 25 grand for the amp. What a well dedicated and amazing auction that must have been. What string gauge and pick do you use? I use Ernie Ball regular Slinky 10 to 46. For guitar picks, I use black Jazz 3 picks from Dunlop. I used to use one of the thicker, darker blue Dunlop picks, but I love to experiment in different picks. The black Jazz 3 XL series ones are the ones I use the most. That is a really nice looking kit. Yeah, it's a Mapex. I've had that kit since, I think, 2012. Midnight Social, that's a nice little music room, man. I'm very jealous. I actually did a video on the way my music room looked, and it still looks the same. There's no more change to the music room from the walls. Joe Bonamassa is playing next year in Ireland, tribute to Rory. Yeah, Joe Bonamassa's a fantastic guitar player. Some of the cleanest and amazing sounding guitar players. Jazz 3 picks are amazing. String gauge is 10. I think you get more of a bite and sustain. Yeah, they really do have a lot of the comfortability for my fingers and to have the sustain. Um, and I'm one of those guitar players that doesn't use a ton of gain on my pedal board because I want to hear the sound of the strings when I strum and pick strings individually. I want to hear the sound of the strings through my amp instead of, you know, I would say overused, just too much distortion. Um, yeah, I have been experimenting with the different tones on my pedal board. What do you beat? What do you think of Beat? Sorry, King Crimson tribute with Steve Vai. I haven't had an interest to look up tribute bands online and to watch a lot of tribute bands, but I might as well have to look at that one. I thought you were going to bring up the album of Beat. Um, I love most of that album, and King Crimson are one of my other high all-time favorite bands. Now let's go up to the comment you said, Guitar Storms, earlier. You seem in a good place now, brother. The drummer from Tool, Danny Carey. Yeah, I really like his shirt off the Beat album cover. Midnight Social, I'll get to your comment in a minute. So, Guitar Storms, you say that I have been in a good place. I've not been in the worst of places, but I have come to the realization that while I do like to make people feel engaged with smiles and laughter to please them and to, you know, be connected with my friends. But I think since the past 2 weeks, while everything around 2024 has been nothing but a huge difference of life challenges for loads of people and chaos and stuff, but for stuff around in my world, the previous few weeks, I haven't been thinking about myself on the inside because that is a major thing that I've been severely lacking. There are some times previously where I haven't been thinking about how I feel on the inside. I've just got a call, so bear with me, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back hopefully quickly. Anyway, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Family members called me. Right. Thank you guys for sticking with me, by the way. I appreciate it. So, what was I saying? All right. The previous 2 weeks have been pretty different for me. Not that I was in a bad headspace. I was severely lacking about how I feel on the inside, as it made me think to realize I haven't been thinking about the positivity and the repetition of being tired and uninspired really took a bit of a toll on me. Uh, of course, I have loved to be involved with people who hold a near and dear special part of my life, as well as with you guys who have been supporting the channel and to just enjoy what I say and do. But mental health side of things, it's just that when you think about how you feel, sometimes your mind goes into a different space that's like elsewhere, and for being in the opposite of positivity. The self-belief thing is what I really need to focus on. I haven't been extremely down and not depressed at all, but you know, previous few weeks have been so different through my emotions that I felt the same way in this constant loop of saying and thinking to myself that I'm fine, but when I'm like in how I actually feel on the inside, there was just this constant feeling that I felt, not energized, and wanted to take some time um, away from hanging out with friends of mine on social media, and I want to focus on myself. And I actually start uh, become so interested to be doing that. Um, I started it since um, 2 days ago. It's a very, very important thing that you have to really tell the truth by yourself or with your family and friends of how you truly feel, instead of faking reactions just to please them, to tell them how you feel and they think you're okay. But sometimes not everybody would do that. They really hide their own actual emotions. They feel vulnerable. They feel not weak, but they feel like they're difficult to actually express how they feel. Mental health has been extremely important for every single person. I know our minds think differently, but like I said, I've not been in a very bad headspace. My mindset has been pretty decent, and I still love to enjoy um, doing stuff that make me happy, like playing guitar. Um, and that's also another reason why I have not been very active as an album reviewer. And this year has been the very worst because of the lack of a ton of album reviews. I am going to come back and review some more albums as best as I can, now that we are extremely close to November. I mean, fucking hell, I can't believe it's November. I know I've said that this year's been whizzing by way too fast, but it has. 2024 is absolutely the year that I have noticed that time went in its fastest pace. But I have gone back to meditation and rested my head to clear the thoughts. I went out for walks. I took Roscoe out for a walk. So I decided to take some more time to myself, and I I have wanted to become so productive again, which I have been. I've been writing material of music that has this connection to, you know, what I've been up to. The material I've been developing uh, were written by different kinds of mindsets as well as with inspirations. But I am glad to, still be interactive with you guys. It is extremely crucial for anybody to process things and to find their own directions, find their own ways, and have a lot of free time to understand and accept that no matter what mood you're in or however you feel, and with the challenges life can give you, and with anything that will change your reactions, you have to always accept the consequences and appreciate the stuff that you have. Anyway, I'm going to move on from that, but that's a thing that I wanted to share. That was my answer right now to that sent comment more than a few minutes ago from Guitar Storms. Return of the King. Your mind can go into itself and disassociate with overthinking, and sometimes overrides the need for rest and well-being. Exactly. That makes sense. I'm wishing the best for you and everyone here. Cheers, Zach. I do appreciate that. But nevertheless, I am getting there. I'm getting there. I just want to overcome this loop that's ongoing of some self-doubt, burnout from stress, and I want to think about the self-care and to keep my mental health in a good position through where I've been for some time. You can do it, man. Music can always help, and of course a good community around you. I'm very fortunate to have people who I really care about in my life. Not just with the internet, with you guys, but for people around me in person, like when I socialize, or just to always be connected to personal close friends and family. Thank you for confiding in us, brother. We love and love your content. Thank you so much, Guitar Storms. I think that I am doing what I can, and that's all I could do. That's all you can do as well. Do you know what? I'm not going to do so much on the guitar, but I would like to have some noises of my guitar through the amplifier and pedal board I have. I'm not going to play anything heavy, nothing really flashy. I want to just have some music, some sound in the background through my gear. So bear with me. I'd love to hear your playing. My playing is very much like just inspired by metal and lots of improvisation. Hell yeah, pal. I'm gonna make just some soothing ambience, like ambient guitar, if that's all right with you guys. Um, use the Gary Moore, pretty please. I always would use the Gary Moore Les Paul. Or if I would snap a string, I would get a different guitar. All right, so let's get this tuning set up. Um, uh, I also have bought a Digitech drop pedal because with what I've been writing, I think it's completely appreciative of having the sounds I have, but when I want to experiment, a drop pedal with a different tuning that I like, I would use it. I would activate that pedal and do the job for me. Instead of buying guitars and tune to whatever tuning and use a guitar for the sake of just a few songs. That's not what I do. Actually, I'll get to the comments in a minute, guys. So bear with me. Feel free to say anything. I know you hear me in the background, but oh, jeez, I want to just do this for a few minutes to get the sounds I want. The reverb. I don't want to be too loud. Let's see. Use the drop pedal. Can hear that. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let's see. Happy Halloween, people. It's almost Halloween. Let's see. Oh shit, I've forgotten the tuning. I can't do a Gary Moore lick. I'm doing a different tuning. So this is not in standard. Actually, I'll turn off the drop pedal. I've just realised. The things I would do to myself sometimes when it comes to experimentation. There it is. So I'll turn off my drop pedal. This is a first, by the way, for a random guitar stream. I say guitar stream. A random live stream with just some guitar. Can you let me know if you hear it, guys? Let's see. I'll see how this goes. Not that I'm an expert at this. Oh my... Oh, that lead's fucking annoying. Switch pickups. Must be a heavy guitar, 8 pounds or so. It's not really that heavy. This is the lightest guitar that I own. Oh, you hear it, guys? Okay. I don't want to be overpowering. Hell yeah, it sounds awesome. Yeah, well, strings are getting pretty worn. These strings have been restrung since I think 2 weeks ago. Sounds like I'm drifting between universes. Yeah, I guess universes would be a good word to describe this. Definitely very atmospheric. I like it. I appreciate that, Zach. This is totally, unplanned. Obviously, this is, completely raw. So I guess at this point, please feel free to ask anything. Is the bass a bit much? Or is everything just okay sounding? The droning pulse is cool. Yeah, I just use a lot of feedback from my delay. didn't use a lot of the effect volume too much. I turned on my compressor and the micro boost. Those two are MXR pedals. Sorry for the crackling. Not supposed to happen, but screw it. I think it's one of the pickups, which is annoying. I think everything sounds just fine. Alright. Turn the tuning peg down for ambience. Well, it is in open C. By the way, if you know Devin Townsend, he uses this tuning a lot. Like almost all the time, both from Strapping Young Lad and his solo stuff. Let's just randomly come up with something. Volume swells. That's the next Alien movie soundtrack. I'm not that inventive of a composer. I'm one of those musicians that wants to come up with a composition that is like something interesting to me. Hearing sounds of what's good to me, and to find different ideas. John Carpenter's soundtrack. I'm not a horror movie composer, but hammer on notes then swell. Yeah. Reminds me of Pink Floyd's sounds. Okay. I mean, Gilmour's one of my biggest favourite guitar players. Oh my god, these crackling sounds. Shut the fuck up. Sorry, but it's starting to get to me a bit. Bend first, then release while swelling gives a great sound. Yeah. Oh, Zach, sorry, I've missed a comment. Is that the drop pedal, or is this another pedal you're using to get the reverby sound? It was going to be a drop pedal until I realized I actually tuned the guitar to what I wanted, you know, for this stream, open C. I thought it would have worked by just tuning this to D standard, open D, and then turn on my drop pedal. But you know, I've realized I don't do that. The reverby sound, I use the reverb that's on the amp. And speaking of the amp. Guitar Storms, the amp I'm using is a Fender Tonemaster Twin Reverb. It's a digital made amp, but it's not like Positive Grid or any, you know, digitalized music gear plug-in. I use proper gear. I don't disrespect anyone, by the way, who would use plugins. Like, some of my favorite musicians have their own plugins for their home studios, but I prefer to do it in gear that suits me. Quinn Spears, are you a fan of all of the Floyd's work? I love all of it. Hate that Roger left, but still appreciate the later works too. I dig their solo works too. I have no interest of listening to Roger Waters's solo stuff. Pink Floyd are one of my top 10 favourite bands of all time, and I love their variety. Loads of classic albums from them. Some of the later stuff I like more than others, but I'm a defender of the final cuts. I really enjoy some of Momentary Lapse of Reason. I love the Division Bell album, but my favourite Pink Floyd album is Wish You Were Here. As much as I love Dark Side, Animals, and even Meddle, Wish You Were Here is my number one. I love the Syd Barrett, Piper at the Gate of Dawn era as well. So that crackling, I think it's just I think it's just from the volume part, volume control. I mean. Maybe the crackling is an unexpected part of the ambience. I don't know. Oh, You Love Obscured by Clouds. That's a really underrated Floyd album. I'm going to switch back to this pickup, because I actually can't cope with that looping crackling. It's starting to piss me off. It's not the same after the wall and the final cut, is it? Well, I'm one of those Floyd fans that sees Pink Floyd still being the same band, even though Roger Waters has never been Pink Floyd to begin with, because Syd Barrett was. I know that's up for debate, but it's pretty much the truth. I know, Syd Barrett, what a tragedy. got disconnected. No worries. I agree with your assessments. I've been appreciating the final cut more too. Yeah, I had a different history of opinions on the final cut through my first exposure to it, but I like the album a lot now. Don't know what that was about. 12 to 7 to 5. Oh, the harmonics, okay. Hang on, guys, I really got to sort this crackling out. It's been pissing me off. Sorry for that. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Keep it in tune. Nope. Let's see. That's no better, but fuck it. That's way too straight. Fuck's sake. That's getting on my nerves now. Ooh. Turn off the tuner activation. Yeah, I cannot really be bothered to fix this now, but you know, sometimes it's one of those things that not everything has to be perfect when you're a musician. Let's see. Guitar yoga, the releasing of emotions. Could the crackling be the lead? It's probably that. Although I have mentioned about the volume control from on one of the pickups. I don't know. Have you heard the early years sets? Those are pretty fantastic and insightful into that period of their career. No, I haven't. I could maybe get the box set. Star Wars Blaster Mode. The sounds are pretty relaxing, man. Yeah, I try my best, but thank you. Let's see. Oop, wrong pickup. Let's try this again. Yeah, sounds all right. Turn on the delay. Maybe it's one of the leads. This is just completely, yes, unprepared, but I just let things roll. Let things roll. Yeah, open C in like a C major chord. Could the phone be? Could be the phone hiss magnetic field. Is that it? I have not got a clue on that. Have you heard the new Animals remix? The Super Deluxe set of that is fantastic. Just wish the Floyd would release more live stuff from the classic 73 to 81 period. I haven't heard of that remix of the Animals. The Animals are really good though. Let's see. What if I would like to move this laptop and the phone to this side, maybe a bit further away? I know it focused on my crotch. Yeah. Strange that, but it is what it is. No other better answer for that. I think it's one of the leads. But is everything okay for the sound? I know I've mentioned it before, but I want to let you guys share if everything is good. Crotch rock. Oh, jeez. You leave my package out of it. Another band I'm slowly but surely getting into is King Crimson. Yeah, King Crimson, I absolutely love that band. They are, personally, in my opinion, the best progressive rock band. Not my favourite, but I love King Crimson's catalogue. don't mind the repetition of these types of chords or notes. Yeah, have a good one, Shazazul. Great to see you. I've got to go now, but thank you all. I wish everyone the best, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, Zach. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, sorry, Shazazul. Are you still here? Okay. I was confused for a second. I've only heard good things about them, though. It seems like. Yeah, Shazazul, you need to check out King Crimson. Their discography is really massive in progressive rock, new wave, experimental stuff, even some bits of jazz fusion. Alan Holdsworth, there's no way I'm doing Alan Holdsworth guitar storms. I'm nothing like him. Go from swell A to C to D, classic Maiden sound. Right. Don't mean to ask a dumb question. Do you still love the Beatles? I adore the Beatles. That's not the only thing of them that I have. It's like a canvas art picture of Abbey Road, that iconic, legendary cover. Okay. Paul McCartney's solo record is amazing. Yeah, the first one, just McCartney. I love that album. Even Neil Young loves that album because it's so simple and it's so true. Those three chords make everything sound incredible. I can't get enough of them. Lol. E, C, and D. I remember when you found your original UK Sgt. Pepper mono album. Yeah, I was really happy. I had gone ecstatic. Oh, excuse me. Oh, fuck off. My old pal's dad has the original Sgt. Pepper record. Brilliant. That sounded like a voice. Really? But for guitars. Oh, Quinn, I adore Neil Young. I love lots of his stuff. Not everything he does, but he's one of my top favourite solo artists of all time. I've been getting into him big time as well. All his 60s and 70s stuff I've heard so far. Love it all. I highly recommend Freedom and Ragged Glory. Freedom was from 1989 and Ragged Glory is from 1990. Those are classic albums. Some of his later stuff, it does get very repetitive in his political rantings, but you know, Neil's one of those artists that does speak his mind on many things. You know, political talks, especially his hate on Donald Trump, MP3s and war and addiction, personal stuff. Yeah, love tons of Neil Young stuff. I'm not summoning demons, Guitar Storms. Terry Reid, yeah, I have a Rainbow and Curved Air on vinyl, unless it's Terry Riley. I think it's Terry Riley. I heard Harvest Moon is a classic. Yeah, it's a really good album. Harvest Moon. It's a beautiful acoustic folky type of album. Sleeps with Angels, that's probably one of his, you know, really darkest albums. Tonight's the Night is his darkest. It is an emotional, powerful album, that one. Sorry, Quinn, you're into Rush as well. Yeah, Rush are one of my favourite progressive rock bands from Canada as well. instant change of sound. On the Beach, near perfection. Love that album. Leonard Cohen is another brilliant artist. You brought up Guitar Storms. On the Beach, probably my favourite from the Ditch trilogy. Then Tonight's the Night. I prefer Tonight's the Night over On the Beach. Time Fades Away is a really underrated live album, even though Neil Young dismissed it for years. Mind you, it was a really tough time for him through that period. Like a Morse code thing. After the Gold Rush is my favourite Neil Young album, by the way. That makes me think of Brian Eno there on the track An Ending Ascent. Holy shit. Yeah, I really enjoy Talking Heads, Midnight Social. I've reviewed Remain in Light, which is one of my all-time favourites. Gotta go, my friends. Really love that guitar, brother, and you play ambient. And to you and all the friends on here, I wish you're the best in the world. And through music, we will always win. I appreciate that so much, Guitar Storms. Thank you for dropping by. I'll see you later. Don't mean to go back to Roger Waters, but does he deserve respect for the Pink Floyd side of things at least? Yeah, I think he carried the band on and wrote some of the greatest music of all time. But then he took brutal control as like the leader of the band. Post Wish You Were Here, when his ego and tensions arose that affected the band personally. A lot of fans I know are back and forth on that. Yeah, I think Pink Floyd had been quite a complicated band to know, like, many facts about themselves, unless there's been loads of historians that really know many more details that we don't know about. What is your favourite Alice in Chains release? I am a huge fan of the Jar of Flies EP. I love a lot of the self-titled But I guess their best album is Dirt. Yeah, there are different opinions around the relationship between, and there's lots of different reactions about Pink Floyd themselves, that they couldn't get along with themselves anymore. The Lane Staley era Alice in Chains is obviously so iconic, but the William Duval era with Jerry Cantrell I really enjoy a lot. Who would say is the band that kind of took over the mantle after the Beatles, as far as really pushing the boundaries to further heights? Took up the mantle. Sorry. I think in terms of classic rock, I think Pink Floyd have been very consistent in the 70s. Same with the Rolling Stones. Zeppelin were highly influential too. Yeah, I agree. Same with the Who. I appreciate their impact as well. I mean, they are another one of my most favourite rock bands of all time. I cherish lots of the Who for sure. I'd pick Pink Floyd, Zeppelin, Stones, and the Who for the '70s, but after the Beatles. But obviously, so many great artists and so much great music everywhere. It was just a classic era for music in many eras, and uniqueness of sounds through classic rock, psychedelic, krautrock, heavy metal, folk as well. I just think it's my favourite decade of music, along with the '60s. I love tons of the '80s and the '90s. I think it is really, really interesting to hear different people's opinions with their own take on different artists and sounds of expression. I hope you guys have been enjoying my noodling, despite the crackle from the lead. I feel like it was more group efforts in terms of musical, multiple bands at once coming out rather than one band, if that makes any sense. I I get what you're saying there, Shazazul. I think some of the most consistent pieces of music do come from loads of the major uh, groups of acts, especially through separate individuals with their own craft. And even solo artists can adapt. They have their own effectiveness. One of your bands sounded like an animal roaring. No idea how you did that. I just think, have some motion on the wrist for the bending. the sounds, man. Dick the Les Paul reminds me of Slash's guitar. I think Slash's guitars are gorgeous. I respect Slash a lot as a guitar player, while I'm never ever a fan of Guns N' Roses. But each to their own. I think that's all I could do. I don't have like a proper, I would say, timing to know when I would like to do guitar content on this channel, but you know, you heard it here through some completely unplanned, unexpected improvisation of not what I would usually do on the guitar, but I love doing some stuff like this, as ambient music is a favourite genre of all time for me. I think I'll wrap it up here. Let's put this back here. I placed my laptop on top of the piano seat, and I have my phone lying on the laptop. Yeah, I would go into different discussions of comments with what you said there, Quinn, about they took up the mantle after the Beatles. But that is completely open of a question that I really enjoyed. Early roots for heavy metal too, and early proto-punk in that time too. The Stooges, I love some Stooges. MC5, Black Sabbath. I'm from Birmingham, UK, and Black Sabbath are a top 3 favourite band of all time for me. Deep Purple is one of my favourites as well. Love the sounds, man. I've read that. Or maybe Peter Green's Les Paul, the old greeny one. Yeah, Peter Green's one of my heroes, and I have learned a lot through Peter Green's technique, as well as the very underrated Danny Kirwan. Kind of a random question, but how many songs do you feel should be on an album? Obviously, it just depends on whoever wants to write material for an album. But it also depends on the style of music. You know, you get classic rock bands who would have a huge repertoire of originality, and we know classic albums, but there are many that instead of having every single thing that's recorded for an album, they could save those for a compilation or like a special or limited edition of a reissue with bonus tracks. Progressive rock stuff, extremely lengthy in places, full of improvisations, but I personally think that for many songs to be comfortable enough to be on an album, I think many albums had been um, many albums have been involved in the right amount of songs with a start, the middle, and the end, and what fits right for a personal choice for a musician or a band. I think heavy metal most of the time would have some kind of order, but you know they are a collection of heavier sounds and a difference to like a usual order of which tracks should be there earlier, middle, or close to the end, like a concept album. But I think I think many of these albums have not just as a selection of material that fits an album, but if it does have some personal meaning and an overall connection of which order any piece of music could be fitting enough to be on an album. It's just around a personal choice um, of what to start, uh, and then to develop from there with a middle and the end to finalize like the best appropriate selection of songs that would fit on an album. Um, that's a pretty interesting question, actually, Shizazel. Are you a fan of Rory Gallagher's playing? Shizazel loves Rory Gallagher. I think Rory Gallagher is one of my favorite guitar players. I did a very old video of my top 10 blues guitarists. Rory Gallagher's not on there, but he's amazing. Eric Clapton's not on the list, but with my video at that time, I understand that it stirred a lot of people's reactions, but the top 10 were the guitarists that I loved the most through influences, especially for the ones that are in the top 5. Thanks for talking with me and us on here, man. Glad we can enjoy cool conversations on our favourite music. No worries, Quinn. I really appreciate it, and I am planning to do more of this stuff again. And this was the first time that I tried to, come up with some background music and improvisations than any other stream that I've done on this channel. But I hope that I will make like the perfect time to potentially do guitar based videos. What ambient music do you recommend? Midnight Social. I easily will recommend Brian Eno, and he's one of my all-time favorite musicians. He has a huge collection of albums, even some that are collaborative ones. I recommend Aphex Twin, like Selected Ambient Works Volume 2, some Tangerine Dream. I think Steve Roach. I do recommend some ambient albums. I've reviewed Ambient One Music for Airports by Brian Eno. I adore Structures from Silence by Steve Roach. I actually haven't listened to the genre for a really long time. I do need to come back to that. Even some progressive rock have some ambient pieces as well, and I think like some post rock, like the instrumental of Pendulum Man by Bach Psychosis. I do think you could have a look at rateyourmusic.com for many people's lists with what they think through many albums and have their own lists. I have an account on there and I love that website. I use it a lot, especially when I rank, you know, tons of albums. I'd love your opinion on this. What are your thoughts on new vinyl represses? For example, I bought all the new Floyd reissues, and I personally love them. I think sounded great, but there's haters on them since they have a slight digital base to them. But it's hard to find and afford original pressings, so I went that route. I prefer analog, of course, but I don't hate or discriminate against digital. To me, as long as they sound good to me. Can I ask your feelings on that? I think most reissues or represses sound absolutely fantastic. Like I've mentioned about music on vinyl, but I think some of the remasters are incredible, like the remasters of the Beatles discography, even Kraftwerk's discography from Autobahn to Tour de France soundtracks. When I listen to those remasters, there's a lot of projection of the bass, especially through multiple different releases that involve a remix of an older album. Some remixes are really, really good, like the well-beloved Beatles box sets. And it adds a really interesting touch. The Pink Floyd reissues, I have bought some Pink Floyd records that are remasters, and they sound glorious. Not on the Pink Floyd Records label, although I have heard multiple comments that people love those later pressings. I think it's just through personal taste, and what sounds great to you is what I care about. There are later pressings of albums, not just on vinyl but on CD, that are digitally remastered, like Iron Maiden's discography. I wouldn't slack off the digital world of these types of sounds very much. I am an analog fan as well. There are some vinyl pressings that have the version of audiophile. Also, those acclaimed but very expensive mobile fidelity pressings. They have that type of crisp and bigger tone. I love to be a collector of original pressings because it has that richness, that full sound, especially like when you hear sounds that were recorded in the studio and then pressed to vinyl. It's like a very real sound, and the remasters through analog choices do sound fantastic. I don't mind some of the digital stuff, but I would like to find out from different people that if I would want to buy a later pressing of what is better through sound quality, I think most of them would go through the analog. Although some digital stuff sound really good too. And I think for sound through pressings. Clear cut is a great example. Obviously, the standard black vinyl, some colored vinyl. The weakest ones are picture discs. They don't have as much of the full sound when you listen to the music. I only have a very, very few amount of picture discs, but most of the records I have are original pressings, and some that are clear cut and in different colors. A lot of people think the new Pink Floyd reissues sound great, but of course you have your group of people that are still going to complain. Floyd albums were handled well by great engineers. Yeah, I've got the Pink Floyd records ones. I don't have many Pink Floyd originals. I have an original American pressing of the Division Bell, which is a beautiful looking vinyl. I think I have an original pressing of Animals, a UK first press of Obscured by Clouds. I think an original of Wish You Were Here, but I also have the beautiful remaster. The remasters before Pink Floyd Records released their versions, done by Bernie Grundman. Bernie Grundman is like a master of making these wonderful reissues. Bernie Grundman made, a massive bunch of these 2012 Frank Zappa remasters, and when I put some on CD they're glorious. Do you prefer Blind Faith or Derek and the Dominos? I prefer Derek and the Dominos. Blind Faith is very good, but to me, Derek and the Dominos show some of Clapton's best guitar work, and also, of course, with Duane Allman from the Allman Brothers Band. Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs is one of my favourite albums of all time, one of my favourite double albums. I just think Derek and the Dominos, despite the career being extremely short, does hold up as some of Clapton's most acclaimed guitar work, and the whole sound of the band as well, and Duane Allman's wizardry through the melody and the signature slide guitar sound. I've just realised I went on for a lot longer than I should. Nearly 2.5 hours. I guess the jamming just got me lost in the space and time. But this has been really fun. Like with the other streams. Excuse me. But I appreciate you guys being here. Zach, Shizazzle, Midnight Social, sorry. And I'm trying to find anyone else. Quinn Spears, and Scorns. Thank you for your take on that. I'll definitely enjoy and stick with my reissues. But of course, if I can find any originals for a good price, I'll pick them up. Thank you, Strongboys19. Enjoyed our hangout. Cheers for that, Quinn. Good luck with the original pressings. If you have a chance, some of them can go for really good prices. Some that are, overpriced. Depends on the condition of them, but you can stick to what you've got. And for many vinyl collectors like myself, whatever you want to buy for your collection, Our lists are completely endless. Have a good one, man. It's been fun. Thank you very much, Shizazzle. I am going to be doing more videos. I am planning to go into classic albums revisited once again, where I will review DJ Shadow's Introducing. I am going to come back this time to review Fear Factory's Obsolete, Megadeth once again with The World Needs a Hero, and I want to do my best to do some consistency of reviewing albums again, because this year has been absolutely crazy through many different things around me. But I appreciate you guys being here, and maybe by late December time, I would like to do another one of these streams where I just do an update and hang out, as well as guitar playing. Glad I was able to stop by on this stream. I'm always missing them. No worries at all, Shizazzle. What matters the most is if anyone's interested in what I do with these streams, that's what I care about, rather than just views and, making videos just to, keep myself up to date on the channel. But if there's just the same audience that enjoys what I love to do, that is what I care about the most. I do like making videos, and I truly appreciate anyone who has been inspired through these types of experiences with videos like mine, of me talking about music a lot, because it is the best thing in the world. Anyways, guys, much love to you all. Peace and love. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next stream.